Welcome to the Boys Basketball Coaches Show. I am your host, AJ Ganger. Joining me, Coach Brett Kopp. Coach, thank you for taking the time again.
Appreciate it.
We are 13-7 overall, 12-4 in the MVL, and on a 7-game winning streak, which is 2 games remaining. 2 games that we are looking to get redemption for, losing the first time at Troy and then at Tip City. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, pretty good. Kids are playing well, playing hard. I think they enjoy having all these games at one time. Not as much practice and a little bit more playing. But we're sharing the basketball. We're defending really, really well right now, and it's hard not to have that momentum and that excitement when you win a couple games in a row.
Yeah, you guys have played a lot of games in a row. You had a game. You had starting the 7-game winning streak. You were at Xenia on the 25th. Then you had West Carrollton Friday night, West Carrollton Saturday night. And then you just had the Butler game Saturday, the Greenville game Monday, and last night the Fairborn game. How do you stay healthy with all of these games?
Well, it starts in the weight room, and when you're working on your body consistently 365 days a year, we have a great weight program with Coach Neese, and that's the main thing. Like, we try to ease up on their legs. We're gonna ease up on their legs today a little bit, and tomorrow be ready for Troy, but. It all starts with that pre-rehab where they're working on their bodies to make sure they stay safe or stay healthy throughout the season. And
the last time we ended up playing Troy, it was a close, low-scoring type of game. Do you like those defensive struggles, or would you rather see more points on the board?
I would like to see a game like last night more than anything. A lot of it in that game was, we played well defensively, but we were just, I think, too much excitement, too much energy, almost, too amped up to play the game, and we struggled in the first quarter. We were down by 13 at one point in the first. It's hard to come back from that.
So you guys are still in contention for a league title, at least a share of a league title. You're sitting in second place. You win these last 2 games, I think you get a share. I don't know if it's an outright or not. What is that feeling like for you in your first year as our coach? Your first year, you guys are on this big winning streak, and you still have an opportunity to win a league title.
We need to win out, and we need Tip to lose 1 game to share it. Mm-hmm. But that's an expectation I kind of came in. I looked up at the banner first day of practice and said our goal is to put a year up here this year. And I think if you kind of set that standard, that expectation, then they really buy into what we're doing. It's attainable, and that's huge for these kids. Just to even be right there to what they've had in the past has been pretty exciting.
And it seems like the kids are buying into everything you're selling all year round. I mean, we had a little bit of struggles there in the middle of the season, losing a few games in a row, but now we're back on that winning stride. They're listening to everything you guys are saying.
We're big on confronting anything that might happen. We were won 4 games and we lost 1. It's not the end of the world. We got to come back and work. We're not gonna go into some woe is me situation. We're gonna work, and we're gonna continue to get better. And we talked about all the things that they can attain. They all wanted to have a winning record, first time since 16, and we've achieved that. Now we're trying to get to having the most wins since I can find back in the record book. So they always have these goals ahead of them, and I think that's really what's motivating them to continue what we're doing.
And it's probably also one of the most improved teams over the year that I've seen since I've been here. I mean, basketball hasn't been a huge winning program since I came in here, but you guys have always been, you're improving game after game after game after game.
To me, it's all a mentality thing. I've always told everybody, I'm not the greatest X's and O's coach, but I'm really good with motivating the kids and let them kind of see how well they can compete and how well they can play. And I kind of piggybacked off of football. Mm-hmm. It's possible to do it in both, and I think they're starting to understand that. They're really sharing the basketball. These kids really like playing together, and we could tell that in the summer. So, it's been fun. We're just going to keep trying to do what we've been doing.
So you got the game Friday night at Troy. What are you looking at to do against the Trojans here?
Well, we got to start better than we did last time. I mean, we got to continue what we've been doing defensively. And when we share the ball and we have that 2 more passes and we're having them in scramble mode, we're really, really good. We're good shooters when, we have that extra pass and we have a little bit more room and not forcing the issue. So if we defend like we have been and we're able to have that offensive consistency that we've had in spurts the last couple weeks, then we'll be okay.
Cool. So the tournament draw came out. We are in the Dayton region #1 for Division I. You got Fairborn playing Centerville. Lebanon plays Sydney. We get a rematch against Tecumseh. If we win that, another potential round 3 rematch against Sydney. How are you feeling about your tournament draw, Coach?
I'm really happy with it. It was a tight game with Tecumseh the first time around. They got a really, really good player. He's a special kid. You know, they jumped on us within 2 or 3 seconds, so they're excited for that matchup as well. And it gives us a little bit more motivation. Somebody that beat us earlier in the year, and then again, if we get a chance to go at Sydney, you know, but Lebanon's well coached. You know, they got a shot there too. So we got to play well from this Friday until the end of the season.
And, you know, the first round will begin on February 16th at Butler High School. I believe we're the second game of 3 that night. Winning that game, we'll play on Tuesday, February 22nd. We win that one, will be Saturday the 26th, and then we move on to the districts at the University of Cincinnati. So it's going to be a big tournament here.
Yeah, it's fun. It's the best time of year. You got the high school tournament, then you got March Madness. This is one of my favorite times as a coach and just as a fan, so it's going to be fun.
Dre Sean Roberts right now, he's leading the MVL still in scoring, 16.8 a game. He's third in assists with 4.2 and fifth in field goal percentage at 52%. What does Dre Sean mean to this team?
You know, when Dre Sean is just continuously, again, I call him smooth.
Yeah.
When he's running the show and he's in transition and he's making that extra pass and really starting that one more situation that we look for, you know, we're pretty good. He had a stat line last night that I'm not sure I've coached 7 years. I've had kids get a triple-double, but he had a triple-double last night with 13 rebounds, 10 assists, and 6 steals, which is, I mean, that's pretty impressive. You know, and they all like it. There is no jealousy among the kids. They get along with each other. You know, they're high school kids. They'll complain and bicker a little bit, but you know, I think that's what's really special about him is he's able to connect with all his teammates and classmates.
And he seems like one heck of a leader too. He's a real silent leader, but he's a leader.
Well, from the time I met him in the summer until now, he's gotten more vocal, and that was a point of emphasis for him. I know he wants to play college sports in general, maybe whether it be football or basketball, and that's part of it. You got to be able to be a vocal leader, and he's really stepped up into that.
Today on our player spotlight portion, we'll be talking to Josh Crusey. Coach Josh, he's averaging 7.5 points a game. He's shooting 47% from the field and 42% from beyond the arc. We won't talk about free throws. I didn't bring that up to him, but some of his best games so far was the Tecumseh game. He scored 20 points there. The Stebbins game at the beginning of the year, he had 16. 16 against West Carrollton. He's not scoring a whole lot these last couple games. Monday night he only scored 11. Last night he only scored 7, but he's played all 20 games.
Well, then that's kind of go back to Dre's leadership. At one point in the timeout, he had a wide open shot and did not take it. And you know, even Dre came in huddle like, "Hey, you're a shooter. Like he's worked his tail off since I've been here. And, you know, I come in at 6 a.m. He's here shooting. He's called Chip, say, hey, can I get in the gym? I want to shoot." He is a legitimate gym rat. You know, so when he's open, I feel pretty good it's going in. And you know, he's got to have that confidence that if he gets a foot, he's got to let it fly, see what we got.
And I did mention that to him as well. You know, he's a three-point shooter. He is a shooter.
Yeah.
And I was like, what goes through your mind when you're behind the line? Because more than likely it's going to go in. He says, I like to win. I like to compete. That's something you want to hear from a kid too.
Yeah, and he does. He's put in the work. Kids who put in the work just want to compete and just want to win. And you know, he's one of them. And he's not just a shooter. He can get to the rim a little bit. You know, sometimes maybe he tries that a little too more than I like last night. But you know, when he's on, we're really good when he's hitting shots.
Well, Coach, this will probably be our last show that we do of the year. What do you want to talk about when it comes to your first season as head coach? What was it like for you?
It was great. The kids, they again like each other. They're willing to put in the work. They're fun to be around off the floor. Fun to be around in the locker room, and it's been a special experience here at Piqua, just in general, not just basketball, but the staff, the students. So far so good. It's been really fun.
And what are you looking forward to for the future of this program?
Just continued success. Find some stability in the summertime, and then have this. You know, this is a great year so far. I want to continue for the next 3, 4, however long, and make it a staple of the MVL.
Coach, thank you for taking the time all year long to come and
Thank
talk
you.
to us. We'll be right back. We're going to talk to Josh Crusey here on the Player Spotlight portion of the Piqua Indians Coaches Show. Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Boys Basketball Coaches Show. Joining me now is Josh Crusey. Josh, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the season so far. We are on a 7-game win streak with a big win last night against Fairborn, 69-35. Go ahead and talk a little bit about how the season's gone for you.
It's just been a lot of figuring out what works for us as a team, playing as a team mostly. It's what's gotten us to those wins, I feel like. What
is your strategy? Because every time I see you have the ball behind the arc, you're more than likely going to shoot a three, and you're more than likely going to make it. I mean, you're shooting almost 50% from three-point right now. What is your strategy? Like, what's going through your head at that time?
For me, I like to win, and based on percentages, if it's going to go in a lot, shot you got to take if it's open.
How is this year, you think, different from the years in the past?
I think we've built a real culture of just playing as a team, really. I feel like in years past we've been very self-oriented, and this year we're playing more as a team and trying to get wins.
And obviously that helps with the new coach, Coach Kopp. Talk a little bit about Coach Kopp and what he's done to turn this program around.
He's awesome. I mean, he pushes us to really sit down and guard. I feel like is one of the main things that we worked on this year is if we can play defense, the offense will just happen on the other end. As long as you can defend the other players, you'll get open looks and knock it down usually.
Now, you guys are still in running for a league title. I mean, you guys got to win these last two games here against Tip and Troy, and I think you can still get a share of the MVL championship in the Miami division. What does that feel like for you?
It feels awesome. Before the season started, we all sat down, and our goal was first to have a winning season, but a lot of us wanted to see if we can get a league title this year, and not just in the future, but get it this year.
And you guys are going to have a chance at a rematch coming up in the sectionals, I believe. I think that's how it goes in basketball, sectionals, district, and state. You guys will face off against Tecumseh in round one, a rematch where you guys lost a three-point heartbreaking game there. One of your better games, I should say. I believe you had 20 points, your highest scoring game so far. So what is it going to be like when you guys replay them, this time in a neutral site?
It's just going to have us all play as a team and go in attack mode and fix those mistakes we made last time and just try to get it back.
What are your future plans? I think you're a senior, correct? So what are you doing after this season?
The goal is to play college basketball. I'm not quite sure where at yet, but just looking at my options and seeing what I can do.
You getting any offers coming in?
I have a few schools looking at me, some Division III schools looking at that.
Good, man, good. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you again for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This will wrap up this edition of the Boys Basketball Coaches Show here on the Indian Nation Station. Stay tuned for all of your boys basketball news on the Boys Basketball Twitter page, as well as the Piqua Athletics Twitter page. For Josh Crusey, I'm AJ Ganger, saying so long and good luck to the Indians.